Iran, Pakistan, and some Arab governments have been heavily involved in supporting and nurturing one or another group. Without the support from Pakistan, Iran, and a number of other countries, the Taliban and Hekmatyar groups could not survive that many years ago. It is indeed shocking to hear and see that some so-called progressive and even left groups in the US and urban countries regard Taliban as anti-imperialist forces and see them as national movements against occupation. They forget that the Taliban and Al-Qaeda both are reactionary and terrorist groups created by the US. They have links with international terrorism and are supported by fundamentalist and fascist regimes such as Pakistan and Iran. They do not represent Afghan people, and their war is mainly against our innocent people. Existence of such brutal and ignorant groups gives a golden opportunity to the US and NATO to hold its grip on Afghanistan and keep their military bases and presence as part of the empire's long arms strategy. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, the US has become the solo superpower. To keep her position, they fight their potential enemies on all grounds in order to secure its political, economical, geostrategic, and hegemonic interests. The so-called anti-American groups in Afghanistan are needed as a prime excuse for the US to exert control in the heart of Asia. The so-called new strategy of Obama for Afghanistan and increasing troops have already turned the Afghan tragedy into disaster. The number of innocent Afghan civilians killed by NATO is growing. The US talks of war on terror, but tries to make comfortable bedfellows with Taliban and Gulbuddin Hekmatyar. The US puppet regime of Hamid Karzai created the so-called Peace Council in order to share power with those savage groups. If they join the government, the Afghans will be destined to be driven to the dark ages. Such coalition will be like unity of wolves and vultures who jointly tear our unfortunate nation apart. Indeed, the chosen members of the Peace Council are former friends of the Taliban, and ideologically there is no difference between them. Hence, the future state of affairs has already been drafted. Respected friends, conflict, which may necessitate the presence of foreign powers for years to come. We think neither the US, NATO, nor reactionary fundamentalist groups such as Taliban will bring peace, justice, and democracy for Afghanistan. Only Afghan people themselves can liberate Afghanistan if they are united under the banner of the progressive and independent movement. We have individuals and small groups working towards this very vital goal. While progressive and democratic groups are under constant pressure from all sides and are being ignored, but there are many individuals like Malala Yousafzai who have committed herself to rise against occupation and fundamentalism and mobilize poor masses of Afghanistan for a decisive fight for independence, justice, and democracy in our country. The withdrawal of occupation forces from Afghanistan should be the first step towards peace and democracy in Afghanistan. If they do not pull out voluntarily, they may face strong opposition from our people, because Afghans have come to know that these troops are only making Afghanistan a more dangerous place for them, and only a handful of killers and looters benefit from the presence of such groups. Our progressive groups working inside Afghanistan face many obstacles and limitations in their struggle. But despite all the problems and risks, they continue to organize demonstrations and campaigns among ordinary Afghan people in the cities and villages of Afghanistan. Afghan people are fed up with occupation, their puppet regime in the Taliban. So a progressive message is strongly welcomed and supported by the majority of people. Unfortunately, democratic-minded groups are not supported by any source, and they face many challenges and restrictions. While the US and European powers play with the faith of our people and support our enemies and make barriers for advancement of democratic forces, we count on the support and help of leftist, anti-war, pro-democratic, and peace-loving individuals and groups in those countries. We call on you not to forget your comrades in Afghanistan who are risking their lives for a just cause. We need your solidarity and words and action. I salute you for remembering your Afghan comrades and showing your solidarity with them. Thank you.